The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are strictly that. They are views and opinions of Dave and Danny and its guests. They are not the views and opinions of Nissan Corporate Americas or otherwise, Japan, wherever. So now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to wherever you're listening to this, whatever headset, I don't know, car, radio, whatever you're listening to this is your Nissan Nation podcast. And by God, it's February and we haven't done a show, man. I kind of feel bad. Sorry, guys. It's not that it slipped our mind. It's just that there's not been a ton of interesting things going on to talk about. Besides the fact that my buddy Danny is he is in full tilt on his race truck, guys. I've never seen Danny so focused. He is out to build a beast, and he's doing it. He's over there with BF T-Fab, I forget what the company he's using. They are going nuts on that truck, man. He's got all kinds of fun stuff going on to it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But how the hell are you guys? We've not missed a show. We've always at least done one show a month, and by God, we're not missing that. I stand behind this show, America and world, wherever you're listening. You're getting a show a month, whether it be a good one or bad one, and hopefully this one's somewhere in between. It's not as much fun to not have my partner in crime there, but you know he's busy. He's doing things. And as I record this on my sad, lonely Saturday night before it airs, feel sorry for me, guys, because I'm just doing a podcast by myself. Nah, but really, we're all been busy. So, and there's just not been a ton of Nissan news to share, really. We've got some interviews lined up down the road, but nothing we can really discuss yet. We've been in talks with some execs at Nissan, believe it or not, that I guess they've listened. they've heard what we do, and somehow they're still agreeing to kind of be on the show. It's not our French guy, but it's somebody that makes decisions and controls futures and stuff. So we'll when that pops, man, it will we won't promote it as much as the Drift King that kind of rammed us, like a douche. That's the nice way of putting that. But yeah, so how the hell are you? As you can tell, I am in Grumpy Bear form. Not really at all, guys. But there's all been all kinds of little things to talk about with Nissan, and by golly, let's just get right into it. Where is Mr. Breslin? Brez, thank you, sir, for that intro. The Nissan News intro. If you like rock music, he does perform. He's in the Philadelphia area. The Preps, I believe that band name is called. Go check them out. Anyways, let's get right into it. So last year about this time, the Chicago Auto Show was going on, and Nissan, it was reported that they were going to do, offer a factory lift, and we're like, factory lift? I mean, I know, some I think Dodge sort of meddled in it. Or, I'm sorry, Ram, as they like to be called now. But I've not really seen any kind of manufacturer go, hey, no, we're doing this, guys. And so word came out at this previous auto show that it's here this spring. You can purchase a lift kit alongside your Nissan. They've partnered with Icon Vehicle Dynamics for a kit that's completely bolt-on, no cutting or drilling required, which is good when you think about, hey, I'm putting this on a brand new truck. I don't want to drill or do anything, nor do I want my dealership maybe installing it, drilling into my brand new truck. I've seen oil changes go awry, guys, so I'd hate to think sometimes what what could happen when you give them a lift kit. But supposedly this kit's supposed to be pretty quick for the dealership to put on, 4 hours in total. My last oil change at the dealership took seemed like 6 hours. So good luck if you're going to get it in 4. But I think the idea behind this new Icon kit is that you purchase the vehicle and then the next day or so you pick it up and it's lifted and looks badass, man. I know my local dealership here, Murfreesboro Nissan, who has done some lifts for some execs over in Franklin. They are selling a lot of lifted Titans. I was surprised. I know they kind of dipped their toes in it and sold a few. They did one for SEMA. They partnered with some local company and did one for SEMA, and which I ran into the other day. Badass looking truck. It really is, man. My hat's off to those guys. But they're selling like a lot of lifted vehicles. As I take a nice big sip of water, because we'll get into that later. So Nissans really did it, man. They said, hey, we're going to offer lift kits, and by golly, they've done it. Now the price and stuff's not out on these lift kits just yet, and I'm always scared to think about what a dealer and factory come together on pricing for these things. But if you don't want to wait, you want your brand new truck lifted, give Nissan a shout. They're planning on offering this for the normal Titan and the XD. What's cool about this is, and we'll get into this later, about where this partnership could go. We've got a new Frontier coming out, but they've got all kinds of little aftermarket they're about to bring out. There's a bed rack of sorts that you can hang some LEDs off of, and it's got the T logo and stuff. I know that's about to come out, and I've heard some pricing on it. Man, they really, I hate to, sometimes I hate to see these guys talk about factory aftermarket-y kind of stuff, because sometimes it seems like these guys, they kind of do it half-assed, but they've really taken this Titan seriously, and so serious that they got rid of it's news to me, they got rid of the V8 logo on the side of the fender for the non-XD Titans, which I'm super happy about. When I look at that beautiful truck, I see that, I'm just like, it's not a diesel. I don't need to see that. I feel like Steven, whatever the comedian's name is now. But anyways, enough me doing that. But I'm excited, man. I really am. I think this just takes, I know Nissan, the Titan's not the best selling truck in the world. They're happy with the sales, as they should be, because I think as a company, it's made them almost rise 2% in sales for the company. So they sold 50-some thousand last year, which is pretty incredible for a truck that they weren't selling 10 to 15,000 a year before with the previous generation. But they supposedly it's not going to affect towing or anything, whatever they're doing. And the only thing I can think of is the rear. They'll probably do lift blocks of sorts. And but the front, man, it's upper control arms. It's a genuine suspension upgrade. So check that out. They announced a couple things this Chicago show. They had this killer lifted it's got lifted Titan all over the side of it and stuff, and they were showing the lift with it, and it looks really good. I see in the Titan community, man, those guys want to put 35s on that truck instantly, so this should help you out there, guys. I almost feel like they're going to offer some rims and stuff too, but they were awful excited about this, and they did it. So let's see what else we got in the news. They come out with a new patrol of sorts. For us in America, we're going to call it the Armada. If listeners know, man, I'm poo-poo on that name. But the Armada Snow Patrol, it came to the Chicago Auto Show, and it was pulling something really interesting. It was pulling a 370Z convertible that they've made a ski sled of sorts out of. This Armada is in some kind of strange blue wrap. It reminds me of the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. It's just the wrap. The wrap is just killer, man. And the color, if they would do this kind of light blue on just a production vehicle, oh man, it would sell. But then on the side of it, it says Snow Patrol, which is sort of teasing us Americans, yeah, look, it's almost called a patrol. You know, you almost got something kick-ass. But they put big metal bumpers on it, a winch, and LEDs all over, double like 50-inch LED bars on the roof rack. It big mud tires on it. Looks really, really good, and it like kind of teases you. And Nissan's been really, really good about teasing us. They like the Warrior concept. Big old gulp there. Like the Warrior concept, it's like, here, look, we can do this stuff, and then they don't do it. And I kind of feel like that's what this is with this Armada Patrol thingy. They, we can make these trucks like more off-road worthy, but we're not going to. And even everything you read of the reports is like, no, this was just an experiment. And it's like you're experimenting with my heart, man, and it's open heart surgery, and you just like keep poking holes in my heart or something, man. So Nissan, build these things, man. You don't have to build a ton of them. Just, make sure that I get one. Because when it came from my Titan, it was between the Titan and the Armada of what I was going to buy. And, clearly the Titan went out. But just build one of these things. Obviously not the 370Z with with tracks, unless you're up in the Yukon or in one of the Arcticas. But this... I can't say enough about it, man. I mean, they put just enough kind of aftermarket on it that it's noticeable, but yet it still really holds that classic Patrol design. And speaking of designs, let me get on a Dave rant. This Dave rant was brought to you by Nistec Lifts. When you're looking for a lift for your Nissan truck or SUV, give Chris and the guys a shout over at Nistec Lifts and tell them the NNP sent you. So, Nissan, what's up with your design department? So I know guys over there listen, and I know people around the world listen. And of course, we don't all get the same vehicles, so it's we always want what we can't have, which is us in the old Patrol. But I've been trying to figure this out, man. I love the current Armada design. But guys, that design, and it's a little late for me to fuss about this now, but the design was almost 10 years old when we were getting it. What is going on with your California design studios? Did they rent the building out to somebody? Because there's the Z is always designed in Japan, so I can't really say that, even though that thing is like ancient. GTR is the same way; it's designed in Japan. But I know we've got a new Altima that I just posted up on the Facebook page about Nissan Podcast. Check us out over there, or Nissan Nation Podcast over there. But what I'm lost. It just seems like they have a one-track mind, and what I mean by that is when Ford seems to redesign the F-150 every 60 days or so. I guess that's how you remain the number one selling big truck, but Nissan, they let the Titan roll forever, and we've discussed it. And part of the problem was were they going to let Dodge/Ram at the time build the next Titan, or what was going on? And then the collapse happened, blah, blah, blah. But you have a design team. I mean, they did design the current Titan. Frontier's just hanging out there. Hell, they're happy. They're selling still 50 to 60,000 of that a year. And let's see, that came out in 2005, and here we are in 18, so that's quite a while on that. And of course, we've been teased with the Navara that's probably a good look at what's coming down the road. But so what are we working on, guys? I'm a little lost for especially the American market, which is what I know. I'm sure what I've been reported to me that the Maxima is about to have its new kind of upgrade. I can't get enough of this water. It's great. Not that you care. You had a chance with the Juke. They've not officially killed the Juke, but the new kick thing that was designed for the South American market is basically the Juke 2.0 with no controversial styling, no kind of fun turbo to it. The Versa's really way past due, even though it's it's affordable car. Both Versa and Versa Note. Sentra, Sentra I know it's been out for a little bit. but I just feel like we're kind of in a land of lost. The Pathfinder, the Mall Finder as I call it, he got some new headlights to make it more truck looking, even though we all know that it shouldn't be considered anywhere near a truck format. Even like Infiniti, man, you're not seeing any like kind of like, where's the company going with design? But so we'll focus here in America a little bit. You've got Altima, you got Maxima maybe next year or so coming out. We've got time for they should, I'm sure they are, but they should already start poking out some new Titan looks. The Armada is 2 years old now, so you should start seeing them tweak these things a little bit. And speaking of the Armada, I find it amazing that they've taken that 10-year-old design, and it's really kind of a throwback. If you look at like the Frontier, the old Pathfinder, the 51, if you look at the grill and everything, it's just like you can definitely see that was kind of the next step of where the vehicles were going. And now that they brought the new Pathfinder out and it's very car looking, I find it amazing that the new Armada is selling pretty well. And it's an older design, and it is a good design, don't get me wrong. And I really wish that's the direction that the Frontier was headed, with that V grill and that powerful truck looking front end. But so guys, what are we doing? So show us, wow us. I mean, you've got a couple good auto shows coming up. You've got New York, you've LA in the fall. Give us a tease, guys. Show us something. And speaking of showing something, so they, like I said, that Armada Snow Patrol was towing a 370Z, man. It's a convertible, and funny, man, that they when you're out in the snow, you need a convertible. And hey, my hat's off to you, Nissan, on that one, man. It's a ballsy move. And they show guys like driving around in this thing, and it's really fun. And they're showing this the Snow Patrol pulling it. And then they showed it at the Chicago show that we were just talking about. They I guess they showed the Z just to kind of like, hey, look, we're still building it, man. We haven't forgot about it. But it's more of the design thing, like Nissan Japan, man. There's been like super no word about anything on the Z. The reports come out a few weeks ago saying, because Nissan was real quiet on it, and I guess that reporters really started pushing on it. They're like, no, we have no plans to either upgrade the Z or kill it. So I guess they're happy selling 1,500 or so a year that they're selling. GTR, man, in the supercar world, man, it's a dinosaur anymore, and which is strange because when they brought that out, it was so ahead of the game, especially for the price point. It was just like incredible what you could get that car for. Nismo, we're making track editions and putting cool flares and stuff on them, but I don't see the excitement right now. And I know like Ford and them, man, they've got just their truck department alone spends probably Nissan's whole budget in design. So it's hard to you can understand how Ford is able to continually innovate new designs, but give us something, Nissan. And speaking of giving, let's see, we have more news here. They where was it? The Nissan's talking about doing autonomous taxis in Japan. The Tesla, that's been a big thing between Tesla and Lyft of who could crack the code on that one of kind of them owning their own cars and it just being basically its own company. They come pick you up that way. And once again, like Nissan gets no credit for this. They Tesla has the autonomous driving car, sort of. I mean, it's pretty good out on the road. There's been a few cases of people thinking that it was like foolproof and they've crashed their cars. The new Leaf, they're not calling it completely autonomous, but it will help keep you in the lanes. And if it detects like that you're not paying attention and maybe there was a health issue, it will pull the car over, which is super cool. And that's going to start bleeding into, I know Rogue, I believe, is supposed to get it next. And you're going to really start seeing like some cool technology. But Nissan was like, hey, man, well, you guys are over there talking about doing taxi service. Well, we got it. Here. They're like that classic meme, man. Here, hold my beer. We've got this. And I'm not sure. I feel like we're ready. You know, you always, as a kids, you watch those cartoons like the Jetsons or whatever future show that you're watching, and you're like, yeah, man, you know, one day I can see that. And I really feel like we're living in that day now where these cars are just going to start pulling up in your front lot and ready to go, ready to pick you up and take you wherever, which is awesome for, you know, if you're out partying, that would be awesome. Maybe you're inebriated enough that you're not scared knowing a car is driving you without anybody behind the wheel. But still, that they've really, you know, Nissan doesn't get the credit for it they really deserve in that. You know, they had that little experiment where they had the chairs driving themselves around, and nobody really, like, I don't think saw that. Hey, no, we're going down that same Tesla path, but guess what? We're taking our time. We're not going to do that Tesla thing where we're announcing, oh, here it is. Look, the future's here. And then they can't fulfill that dream. They also, the electric car. Yeah. Hey man, we're going to build it. And what did they do? They built it, and it's a decent little, you know, it's a, for the most part, I would consider it an entry level car. I wouldn't put it up in the Tesla, standards. Now the new redesigned Leaf is a lot nicer. But I don't think I would, you know, it's not a luxury car by any means, but guess what? Infinity's about to come out with their version of an electric vehicle, and you know that's going to be luxury. Nissan's already building the little taxis of the future for New York. Guess what? They could easily swap this stuff in next couple years into New York, where driving is super scary. Being a pedestrian is even more scary. Don't walk out in front of anybody. You'll be dead. But they've really quietly set themselves up to be that manufacturer of the next 25 years to innovate. You know, Chevy, they fooled around with their Volt. Last I heard, they're going to kill that program. They're just not selling any. And you know, where people laughed at Nissan at first and said, well, yeah, your car is only going to get you, what was it, like 115 miles at first, something like that, or 80. I forget what the original miles of the electric car was. You know, and GM and them come out with the Volt, and they called it an electric vehicle, but for all intents and purposes, guys, it was a hybrid. I know it had a little 2 or 3 cylinder engine in it, because the electric part would only get you like 40 miles. And Nissan, they just continue chugging along, man. And my hat's off to them for what they're doing for electric vehicles. But I think autonomous is they are reading a future that, as an enthusiast, it's a little scary because I actually like driving my vehicle, but I think they really see the writing is on the wall that one day we're going to have that, kind of like that Tom Cruise movie where it was in the future and his son was, I forget what they called it, is kind of a distant future thing where it shows like the little cars driving themselves everywhere. And I don't think it's going to be floating around or anything, but I do see a time when you're going to just, your car is your little workstation and you're going to just be on your phone or tablet or whatever you're doing, and it just takes you there. So that's exciting times, and I'm hoping they really start showing a little bit more. I mean, you know, I think it was by 2020 they said, hey, it's coming. You know, we're going to do it, and we're only 2 years away from that, guys. That's fun and scary. So what else do we got in the Nissan world there? I could always bore you with some numbers. They've announced their 2018 motorsports program. The GTR is going to be in Formula E again. That's cool. That was the Formula E, if I remember right, was their electric racing. So that's super cool. They've let's see. Let's see. We got all kinds of. Where's our numbers? Nissan is they're partnering with I won't say they're partnering. They're actually putting Saudi women behind the wheel, which is kind of cool because I guess the women have not been allowed to drive over there, and I guess they've just passed some laws where saying, yeah, they can actually start driving now. So, you know, if you've not ever been allowed to drive, and you get the opportunity to, you probably should learn. And who else, better than a car manufacturer to kind of tell you about the car? And Nissan is big over in in the Arab lands, so that is super cool. Their numbers, there they are. Nissan Group total sales. You want to know this. They're up 10% from last year. In January 2018, they've sold 123,538 vehicles compared to 17 of 112,319. Some of that I know is they're starting to get into rentals and stuff like that. They're doing some Altimas and stuff, and they really think that that's how they can bring more brand awareness. And you get that traveler that's flying out somewhere and they need a mid-sized car. The Altima is no better car to put them in, so that's kind of cool, and it's helping their numbers a little bit. Infiniti is down 8%. They're let's see, 2018 January they've sold 10,635 cars, where last year at this time they sold 11,558 cars. That's not a big deal. That brand fluctuates pretty good. They make good money on those cars, so they want to sell as many as possible, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna freak out about that. Let's see, Versa is down about 1,000 cars this time last year, but I just talked, it's due for kind of a redesign. Sentra up big time. And speaking of Sentra, I want to thank the guys over there, Regal Nissan in the ATL Atlanta, Hot Atlanta for those outside of America. That's in the United States, in Georgia. So I got to give those guys a shout out, man. Regal and Bo Scott, just beautiful people, man. They've not known me from a hill of beans, man, and they come to my events. They see what I do, and I guess they like what we do because they're the title sponsors of Windrock 2018. But they've just been super cool with me, man. So I have to be super cool with those guys back and just shout it out every time. I know you guys probably get tired of hearing me, but when they sold my son a 2017 Sentra, and it was his first time he's had a car, so I say it's his first purchase, but it's his first time on his own, getting his own car, and they hold him step by step. They showed him, they treated him like a customer, but yet, they watching them, they were selling a ton of cars when we were down there a few weeks ago, and all their salesmen they just treat people normal. They don't try to, like, it's that cheesy salesman. They just treat people like normal. So my hat's off to you guys. My son loves his new Sentra, which Nissan sold 17,731 of those little bad boys for the month of January in 2018 versus last year they sold 13,000. So I know it was, I think 17 they had a little bit of a redesign, so that's probably sparked a little bit of that. But Altima, who was their king of cars for quite a long time, had a slump last year. Of course, with the fuel prices being low here in America, we want bigger and bigger vehicles. It's just our nature. They sold in 2017 January. They sold where was that? 18,931. Where in the last month they sold 20,185. So that's a nice increase. Leaf sales are down, but that's due to for January 2018. That's only due because the new Leaf just came out in January. So this next month will reflect that. I'll report to you in March about that, about February. Juke sales, oh my God, they sold 190 this year versus 1,300 last year. 370Z, it's down 100, 224 of those they've sold in January. Total car sales right now is 50,000. Not bad. They were 47,000 last year. Let's look at my beloved Frontier. Frontier in 2018, they have sold 5,900 of those bad boys. Versus this time last year, they've sold 3,857. Big increase, for a truck that's 13 years old. Titan, of course, sales just keep going up and up. They've sold 4,000 last month, which, it's not the Ford's. I think Ford sells I want to say 15,000 a month or more. It may be more than that. I know it's an ungodly number. That would sound like I'm making it up, but it's not. Pathfinder, its sales starting to come down a little bit, but that design's getting a little bit older. Armada that we just talked about, this time last year they'd sold about 1,900 of them. They're at 2,200 right now. So I know they've had better months previously. So the wintertime's always a strange time for these car numbers. Rogue, God, crushing it, man. Last year, January, they 28,760, which at the time was like, holy cow, they're selling the crap out of those things. Now, this month, they have sold 36,184. So big increase there, man. Big increase. Murano sales are up. Can you believe it? They've sold one Quest, one minivan last month. I'd like to talk to that person that bought that Quest minivan and ask if they've heard of the Rogue or the Armada and go, hey guys, minivans are dead. Let's see the big NV van, commercial van, 1,000 or so. The NV200, the little one, man, they're selling quite a bit of that. And I'm not sure if these numbers reflect because they actually build those for GM too for their little minivan platform. So I don't think those numbers will reflect that. But for overall, man, sales are good. I know everything I'm hearing from the car manufacturing business, like sales are starting to slump a little bit, but we've had since 2013 like a spike in sales, so it's due to slow down a little bit. I'm not worried about the economy crashing at the moment because sales of homes here in America are still like crazy, going gangbusters. But cars fluctuate. It's a hard business to be in. That's why I don't manufacture the Boyd car. That in my garage isn't big enough. I have to look into that. I'll have to look into making a bigger garage, make my own Nissan-ish vehicle. But so there we are, guys. That wow, 31 minutes of me rambling. I hope you've made it past that. I tried to bring you a little something too. It's hard when you're a partner in crime. You want to bounce ideas off of, and Danny always has unique takes on anything. Yeah, these solo shows are always like man, I've got to do it. I've got to talk, and I've got to ramble. I got to do the Dave. But so let me tell you we've got some big plans coming up for the show. I know in 2 months, I believe it is, the show is heading to Chicagoland. Actually, it's Indiana, but it's Chicago, to the Badlands Off-Road Park. The crew, Ryan Miller and the guys that run GLX, is Greater Lake Xteras or something like that. They are having their annual springtime run, and we're taking the show up there, and I can only imagine that's going to be a party. If you've listened to the Rogue show we did it by the campfire, and I got a feeling I'm going to try to do the same thing there, but I got a feeling the alcohol may be flowing a little bit more, so we'll definitely put the child warning on that one. We've got plans to go to Rosh Creek in Pennsylvania for the East Coast Xterra Challenge. I've been meaning to get up there for only like 11 years. And finally, I've just like, I even though I want to go to Moab and I want to go to the places that I love, it's like, it's time to like explore the world a little better. Let's see parts of the world that I've not seen yet. And I've never been to Pennsylvania, so that should be fun. We've also, we've got, there's an off-road expo in Louisville that I'm really trying to get to. I'd like to have Danny there for that one, but who knows on that. And there's a Z Days here in Franklin where they take and have Z's come to the headquarters. That's going to be fun, and all kinds of stuff. If there's, as my fellow Nissan enthusiasts listening, if there is anybody that you want us to interview or talk to or just reach out to and give shout outs and stuff, please feel free to let us know. I don't care where you are. Me and Danny, I think Danny probably speaks a little bit of Spanish being in Southern California, but English speaking would be my only thing I would need. I'm not fluent in any other language, well, besides BS. Clearly, as you listen to this show all the time. But we're looking for fun people. We've said it before. I don't care if it's your buddy that's got this tricked out Z or something. And this show is about you guys. And it's not just about like, cool manufacturers or speaking with Nissan, whoever we can get that it's more. It really has always been more about the guy in his garage, and whether you're tinkering or whatever you're doing, we want to know about it, man. And if you want to share it, feel free. NissanNationPodcast@gmail.com is our email. You can click over on our website, NissanPodcast.com or NissanNationPodcast.com. We are on Instagram. Hit me up there. If you got a killer picture of your car you want the world to see, let us know. And if you haven't followed us yet, shame on you. Follow us on Instagram. It's Nissan Nation Podcast, all one word. We've have all kinds of just fun people we follow, and of course that's just the world of Instagram. We are on Twitter, sort of, at Nissan Podcast. They're on Twitter. And last but least, we're Facebookers. We've got 2 Facebook pages. We've got the main page at Nissan Nation Podcast, and we've got a group, the NNP chat room. You can find us through the main Facebook page, where we try to get you guys to reach out and talk to us and share things. And we've had great success with that. Our buddy Brez and a few others, they are always kind of poking the bear there and seeing what the world's doing with Nissan. So, other than that, guys, I'm about talked out. I've given about 35 minutes here, and it's about 30 minutes longer than I thought I could do. And with what little news we've had. So from everybody here at the Nissan Nation Podcast, my buddy Danny over there, JR, who helped me get the music and stuff rolling, my beautiful wife Kelly, who does our intro, to everybody listening, we appreciate it. We're going to continue to do this no matter what, and at least once a month, if not twice a month, give you the Nissan news you maybe not crave, but you're going to hear anyways. So from everybody here, my name is David Boyd, and we are out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.